kindergarten. So today for math, we are going to be talking about our two-dimensional shapes. That means that they're flat. So up here, I went ahead and I drew all 10 of the two-dimensional shapes that we talk about in the classroom. But because you guys already know all of the names of the shapes, we're going to play a little game where I'm going to give you clues and you're going to have to figure out which shape I'm thinking of. Are you ready? Here we go. The first shape I'm thinking of has 0 sides, 0 vertices, and if it were a pizza and I cut it into pieces, all of the pieces would look the same. Which shape do you think I'm thinking of? I am thinking of a circle. A circle is round. It has 0 sides and 0 vertices. Remember, the sides are the flat parts and the vertices are the pointy parts, the corners. Here's my next shape. I'm thinking of a shape that has 4 equal sides and 4 equal vertices. What shape am I thinking of? I am thinking of a square. In kindergarten, the square I drew is tilted. Remember, it's still a square even though it's laying on its side. Okay, here's my next shape. I'm thinking of a shape that has 3 sides and 3 vertices. What shape am I thinking of? I'm thinking of a triangle. A triangle can come in all different sizes, and it can look really different from other triangles. This triangle has a straight side here and a straight side here, and then it has a slopey side over here. Remember, a triangle can look really different. All it needs is 3 sides and 3 vertices. That's it. My next shape that I'm thinking of has 8 sides and 8 vertices. This one reminds me of an octopus. Which shape am I thinking of? I'm thinking of an octagon. Octa means 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It has 8 sides and 8 vertices. And it reminds me of an octopus because, again, octa means 8, and an octopus has 8 tentacles. The next shape I'm thinking of, this one's going to be a little tricky. It has 4 sides and 4 vertices, but 2 of the sides are medium size, 1 side is long, and 1 side is short. Ooh, do you know which shape I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of a trapezoid. This trapezoid is upside down. The one we have in our classroom is usually the other way. But remember, it's still a shape. It's still a trapezoid. No matter which direction a shape is turned, it is still called that shape. Just like our square is over on its side, but it's still a square. Our trapezoid looks like it's upside down, and it has 2 sides that are medium length, 1 side that's long, and 1 side that is short. It's still a trapezoid. The next shape I'm thinking of has 0 sides and 0 vertices, but if it were a pizza, not all of the pieces would look the same. Which shape am I thinking of? I'm thinking of an oval. An oval is also round like a circle, but it's longer or taller than a circle. A circle is the same all the way around, but an oval is longer or taller, but it's still round. You can kind of think of an egg. If you took an egg, I know an egg is a 3-dimensional shape. It's a solid shape. But if that egg were flat, that's what an oval would look like. Or a grape. If that grape was flat, that's what an oval would look like. My next shape, kindergarten, has 5 sides and 5 vertices. What shape am I thinking of? I'm thinking of a pentagon. Remember, we looked at the government building called a pentagon, and it's called a pentagon because it has 5 sides and 5 vertices. And the pentagon I drew today kind of looks like Superman's, like the part on his shirt that he wears, where it has the big S in the middle. Okay, kindergarten, the next shape I'm thinking of has 4 sides and 4 vertices. 2 of the vertices are wide, and 2 of the vertices are narrow. Can you think of the shape I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of a rhombus. Sometimes you might want to call that a diamond, but remember what we say in kindergarten. A diamond is something you wear, and a rhombus is our shape. It has 4 sides, and it has 4 vertices, 4 corners. But 2 of the corners are wide, and 2 of the corners are narrow or skinny. The next shape I'm thinking of has 4 sides and 4 vertices. 2 of the sides are long and 2 of the sides are short. What shape am I thinking of? I'm thinking of a rectangle. We know this shape pretty well by now. I'm thinking of a rectangle. 2 of the sides are long and 2 of the sides are short. I could also have the 2 long sides going up and down and the 2 short sides going side to side. The last shape I'm thinking of, and I think you're going to get this, the last shape I'm thinking of has 6 sides and 6 vertices. I bet you know what shape I'm thinking of. It is a hexagon. Hexa means 6, and I can remember that because hex and 6 both have the X, the X sound in them. Our last shape is hexagon. So kindergarten, let's go through and just review our shape names before we say goodbye. Here we go. Say them with me. We have a triangle, rhombus, pentagon, circle, square, rectangle, oval, octagon, trapezoid, and a hexagon. Good job, kindergarten. I'll see you next time. Bye. All right, so now that we have practiced our 2-dimensional or flat shapes, their names and how many vertices and how many sides they have, let's go ahead and let's use something called a graph. A graph is just a tool that I can use that helps me count. It helps me classify and categorize items, and then it helps me see how many of those items that I have. Then I can see what I have the most of and what I have the least of, or if I have an equal amount of anything. So what I did, I went ahead and I drew us a graph, and we are going to be graphing our circles, triangles, rectangles, and trapezoids. And I drew a few at the top. So all we're going to do, we're going to use either a pencil or a marker, and all you have to do is count how many of each shape you see. And remember, whenever we count and we can't move it to put it in a nice, neat line or move it to the side, we always take our pencil and we put a little dot on it. That way we know we've already counted it, because we don't want to accidentally count something more than once. So the first shape we're going to count up is the circle. Here I go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 circles. I'm going to write that number underneath just for now. 4. And I'm going to keep that one in my brain too. The next one I'm going to count up is the triangle. I want to count up all of our triangles that we see. And remember, a triangle can come in many different sizes, or it could be turned any kind of way. As long as it has 3 sides and 3 vertices, it's a triangle. Here I go. 1, 2, oh, there's another one, 3. I'm going to write the number 3 underneath the triangle. The next shape that we're going to count up is the rectangle. Remember, a rectangle kind of looks like a square, except that instead of having 4 equal sides, it has 2 short sides and 2 long sides. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, I also have 3 rectangles. And the last shape that I want to count up is the trapezoid. Here we go. 1, 2, and 3. And I wrote that number underneath trapezoid. Now that we're done counting up our shapes, and now that we're done writing our numbers underneath each one, we're going to look at our graph, and we're going to see how we can put these numbers on our graph. That way we can see which shape we have the most of, which shape we have the least of, and if we have anything that's equal. I know that we can always look at our numbers for that too, but this way we can actually see it. We can see. So I like to call this making my skyscrapers. A graph can go up and down like this, or sometimes it can go side to side too. For this one, we're going to go up and down, so we're going to make, like I said, some skyscrapers. So we're going to look right here. I have 4 circles. I always start at the bottom. Whenever you build a skyscraper, you have to start at the bottom, at the foundation, and you build it up. We can't build skyscrapers from the top all the way down because a skyscraper can't just float there up in outer space all by itself. So we're going to start at the bottom and we're going to color up. I have 4 circles, so I'm going to color 4 rectangles up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now remember, Miss Stahler's coloring is not always that great, but you guys are super colorers, so I'm sure that at home you're going to do a really nice job staying in the lines. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 circles. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've built my skyscraper. Let's look at our next one, the triangle. I have 3 triangles. So I'm going to go ahead and color 3 of my rectangles going up. Remember, we always start at the bottom. 1, 2, 3. All right, let's look at our rectangles. Oh, but kindergarten, guess what? Along comes Pete the cat, and watch what he's going to do to one of my rectangles. He took one of my rectangles away. So now, I no longer have 3 rectangles. I'm going to count the ones that I have left. I'm still going to put another dot. 1, 2. I only have 2 rectangles this time. So I'm going to get rid of my number 3. And I'm going to write the number 2. Now I need to color my skyscraper as long as Pete the cat stays over there and doesn't take any more of my shapes. 2 rectangles. So I'm going to color the rectangles on my graph now. Remember, we're starting at the bottom, working our way up. 1, 2. And our very last shape today is the trapezoid. We have 3 trapezoids, so we're going to color on our graph, making our skyscraper from the bottom up. 1, 2, and 3. All right, now we can look at our graph. We have just entered the data onto our graph. The data is the information. It's how many of something I have. So I looked and I have 4 circles, 3 triangles, 2 rectangles, and 3 trapezoids. I just counted all the stuff up here, all of my shapes up here, and I wrote the data on the bottom, and then I put the data, the information, on my graph. So now I can look at my graph and I can see which shape do I have the most of. Kindergarten, which shape does it say that we have the most of on our graph? It says we have the most circles. It is the tallest skyscraper that we have on our graph, which means that we have the most circles. The next one that we have is the triangles and the trapezoids. They're equal. We have 3 circles, we have 3 triangles and 3 trapezoids. They're equal. And the last one that we have is the rectangle. We have the least amount of rectangles. It's the shortest skyscraper, so the least amount of rectangles. We only have 2. So kindergarten, that's how we use a graph. Not super difficult. Go ahead and go do your shapes graph at home, and I'll see you guys next time.